My name is Sandra Conrad, and if you're a fan of true crime like I am, you're going to be amazed at the technology law enforcement now has to find out who perpetrated these crimes. The technology has revealed that now we have what's called touch DNA, and I'm going to tell you all about it. According to scientific reports, all you need is 2 seconds to get a DNA profile. 2 seconds. 1, 2. Done. That's amazing. I'm going to tell you about why we use DNA to solve crimes, how it's been used in old cases, and how it's been used recently. It can either confirm or clear the accused. According to Andrei Sapkowski, he says there's 6 reasons why we should use DNA to solve crimes. We use DNA because it's unique. No 2 people have the same DNA except for twins. DNA does not change, regardless of how long it's been. DNA is resilient. It lasts. Also, DNA is inherited. That further narrows the suspect pool. DNA has source duplicity, which means that regardless if you use blood, saliva, or skin, it's going to have the same DNA profile. Lastly, we now have skin flakes to get a complete DNA profile. Touch DNA has been used in old cases, such as the JonBenét Ramsey case. If you remember, up in Boulder, Colorado, a 6-year-old was found strangled and dead in her parents' basement. Now, because there was no sign of a break-in, naturally, the parents or the 9-year-old brother, the only people in the home at the time, were accused. Many years, evidence was tried to convict the parents or the brother, but the DA's office in Boulder, Colorado could not get enough evidence. They didn't think they'd have enough to convict beyond a reasonable doubt. So the case went cold. It wasn't until years later, with the help of Touch DNA, that it was found that the DNA profile on the child, around her body, on her clothing, exonerated the mother, the father, and the brother. Another old case that Touch DNA has been used on is the Darlie Routier case. Darlie Routier is a Texas housewife who is on Texas death row right now. She's accused of killing her 5- and 7-year-old sons. According to her, a male person, a man, had entered her home, stabbed her children, and then ran out of the house. Now, 20 years later, all of her appeals have failed. In a last-ditch effort, her appellate lawyers, using Touch DNA, figured there was a bloody fingerprint, let's have it tested. Unfortunately, the testing came back that the DNA profile from the bloody fingerprint belonged to a female. What did this mean? This further proved what the state had thought all along, that Darlie Routier had killed her children. In a recent case, Daniel Holtzclaw was accused by several women of sexual assault, rape, sodomy. He said he was innocent, but the women claimed that he would pull them over but not arrest them. Why was his body camera turned off and on all of a sudden? He had explanations for everything. What he didn't have explanation for was Touch DNA, which was found that the women's DNA was found on the inside of his pants. Daniel Holtzclaw was sentenced to life in prison. Touch DNA is also being used on shell casings. as well as clothing. We've reviewed why we use DNA in old cases and in recent ones. And you never know. We might be able to find out who killed Nicole Brown Simpson. Thanks very much, guys.